one of the oddest I think we've ever watched.
Bedtime Babble.
Megalopolis.
I'm just going to come out and say it. I enjoyed this film.
Did you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it the first time we watched it in a weird way.
Yeah, and I don't mind some weird, and that's what I mean. Like, some of those isolated bits are quite good, but I think the whole thing, I think, is a bit of an overbloated, jumbly mess.
No, see, when I watched it the second time last night, admittedly, I watched it at 1.5 times speed, and it didn't suffer for it. But that might be because I've seen it before. I mean, it's 2 hours 20 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
it's a long watch.
Give it its respect.
I gave it its respect. I sat and I watched it and I enjoyed it. And I think, in fact, on second viewing, this film was more enjoyable than the first.
Something never disclosed. The embodiment of all my desires.
It's like a really long fragrance advert on acid. Megalopolis by Megalon.
This is like 40, nearly 50 years in the making of Francis Ford Coppola, from idea to actual
seeing it,
release,
people watching it. This is like his artistic ejaculation.
It's got a bit of the fateful findings about it now, isn't it?
It's just hugely sanctimonious.
I don't know if I found it sanctimonious. It's both grand and pantomime.
And completely...
That's how I felt about it.
And completely void of any actual real meaning.
It definitely has meaning, because they tell you on a stone tablet at the end what the meaning was. That everyone should be friends. And
back to my point.
Well, but also it's kind of out with the old, trust the new youth to sort of, with wild ideas, to sort of build a better future. That's kind of what it's trying to say, and does say, I guess.
It does kind of say, but I think it just gets kind of a bit lost in its own pomposity.
Well, it gets, it does in some ways tell that story or deliver that message, but it delivers it in the wildest, most strangely structured. Well, not really strangely structured. It's quite linear, but it's quite linear. But it's bonkers.
I'll be honest, I still don't really have a great idea what is going on.
Yeah. So it's the story of Caesar Catalina, played by Adam Driver, who is a visionary architect in New Rome. So it's like an alternate universe or alternate...
it's an alternate
history. So it's definitely New York, but just an alternate version. He's the head of some department, like...
The Design Authority?
Yeah. And it's basically his quest to build a utopia for the future for everyone to live in. In his quest to do so, he's up against, a number of different people, but the main protagonist for him being Cicero, who is the mayor of New Rome, and he is played by Giancarlo Esposito. Essentially, the story is the bit of a power struggle between them, and then you've got, between the two of them, Julia Cicero, who is the mayor's daughter. She becomes the love interest for Caesar. There's also a whole subplot involving Aubrey Plaza's character, Wow Platinum, where she is trying to get powerful, marries John Voight, who is a wonderful...
Who's the head of the family.
Head of the family, head of the bank, richest man in New Rome.
Oh, this is it, huh?
Damn it, Jerry! Greed is but a word. Jealous men inflict upon the ambition.
She marries him to get her hands on the bank and the money, and tries to do so with the help of Claudio, which is Shia LaBeouf's character.
Yeah, who's wild.
Yep.
He has a lot of fun.
He's a very fun character. I enjoyed him a lot.
Pick up my hat.
I know Shia LaBeouf gets a hard time as someone to work with, and I think from what I've read, justifiably so. He sounds like he can be really hard work. But
he does play a very good, obnoxious rich kid.
And my way is real, and I want it. I want it all. I want the moon, and I'm gonna have it.
Claudio?
He's been fun to watch.
Yeah. He's just had the right level of exposure in it, I think.
Yeah.
So the story is based on actual Roman history, the fall of the Republic,
Conspiracy.
the Roman Republic, and the Catilinarian conspiracies or something, which happened in 63 BC. And it's basically about the fall of the Roman Republic and the rise of the empire. It's actually Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. A fable.
It's a fable.
2.25 hours. Don't feel like a fable.
How long should a fable be for you, do you think? To get satisfaction?
Something that a fable you can tell the kids at bedtime.
Long bedtime.
And then you've got Lawrence Fishburne as the narrator, but also plays Adam Driver's butler. Basically, just his kind of right hand man, isn't he?
Driving Adam Driver.
Who makes out that he knows more than he does, but then it's never like
it's hard to tell,
because I kind of thought at the end he'd be like in the sky as the moon and be like,
the moon.
Yeah, you can see it.
I thought that's what he would, and I'd be like, oh, he was the moon god, but like it doesn't.
I get what you mean, because there's a point in it where he is narrating while he himself is on screen.
Yes.
And then I'm pretty sure
speaking in the past tense.
Yes, but then he finishes the sentence on screen.
Yes.
Making it difficult for this historian to understand.
Oh, he's right in it.
The one major subplot, which is the plan to take over the bank and bring about chaos and bring down kind of the empire. Then you've got a second subplot, which is about a Russian satellite that's in a deteriorating orbit and is
called Carthage.
Called Carthage, which is expected to land somewhere.
Yeah, that stuff comes off a bit B-Tech drama-y for me, though.
Yeah, it does.
Basically lands on New Rome and destroys
major
parts. Yeah, you see it do it. Yeah. It destroys major parts. What that opens up is the opportunity for Caesar to build Megalopolis.
Yeah,
so where you see them at the end, he has built Megalopolis.
So through that disaster, they are building.
But it's so underplayed, because you do see the scene, and it's quite cool of seeing the bits of the satellite come down and the way they do that.
You've got kind of the weird shadows against the building of the people.
But then you just don't really do much else with it. Like I know it's a plot point, but they don't almost, given it is quite this, it is a disaster, and it would be a disaster. It doesn't really feel like a disaster in this film because it's just used as we need to clear some space so Adam Driver can build his utopia.
It hasn't felt long to me, I'm not going to lie.
No, I'm wondering how long it's left, because I can't see where it's going to go to.
I mean, there's certain scenes from scene to scene you can't tell where it's going to go to.
Yeah.
Do you remember when those meteorites came?
Yeah. That happened, didn't it?
Just happened. That's the thing. The film is weird because it's like this sci-fi, futuristic, otherworldly epic that focuses very much, that's the setting for it, but it focuses very much on the people in the story and the relationships between them.
Yeah.
And kind of ignores a lot of what goes on in this world around them, which kind of makes you wonder, why did you need all of that? If that wasn't part of the story that you were actually telling, and you're telling this story of like a Roman tragedy and a quest for kind of... Why do you need the futuristic stuff of it? Because that...
I think it's just for the look and the vibe.
The gates of Megalopolis are open!
All I can think of is the new Jurassic Park world.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Just waiting for a T-Rex to fucking buy it.
In the movie, you find out that he has previously been accused and attempted prosecution for his wife's murder.
And Frank Cicero is the one that does that.
He was the DA at the time, so he was the prosecutor. And he was acquitted. But apparently her body vanished, and there was some kind of all sorts of mystery around it. But... This is actually the problem with this film, is it's got so many sort of threads running through it of different things going on that are sort of balmy and bizarre and wonderful. There's some really excellent visuals across this movie.
It looks amazing.
For most of it.
times.
For most of it.
There are some
points
shonky
where-
bits, like the big clock.
But it
The
doesn't.
big clock
Well,
they
no,
all
I'd,
stand on
the
after
big,
that.
The big clock,
yeah,
that's a
it's-
practical set.
I'd say the big clock's
It
all
look-
right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
it
apparently
looks a bit like,
no, it's a practical set with the the stuff they used on the Mandalorian, the big screen walls instead of green screen.
yeah.
Apparently, it's that.
Hello.
Sometimes I think health and safety can go a little bit far, but on other occasions, I think it's justified to think about, and it doesn't feel like they've thought about it here.
Yeah, that's because you're a pussy, Dave.
It's true. Like the visuals with the big statues crumbling and things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. There's
Yeah.
some really there's bits in there that I was really just like, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying watching this. Interesting fact: he sacked the VFX department in its entirety.
Oh, did he do it
at
himself?
some point during the? No, he got his nephew to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and his sister's in
I was
it.
wondering if one of you was going to say, "Is that Nicolas Cage?" No.
No.
That's his
He's-
nephew.
No, he's got another nephew. Apparently works. He's done a lot of stuff on Marvel.
I discovered the principle of Megalon, trying to save her life. She said she had good news. Her secret. And then all was lost to me forever.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. It's. I know what it looks like. I know it is arty, wanky stuff, but I kind of like that.
Yeah,
It's
some of
like-
it does, but that's the thing. Some of it does look really good.
He takes a load of drugs and gets drunk, and she starts
Yes,
following him,
yeah,
and then
yes.
he's tripping out.
Yes, that's
And
one
all
of the
these
bits I was talking
arms
about.
appear and all of that. But even so, and that kind of makes sense because you're like, he's tripping out. You're kind of going through his mind and what he's kind of seeing, and then it cuts back to actually what is happening. Like when he gets punched, they flip
he gets
those.
beat.
Well,
beaten
it
up.
flips between that and the show that's going on as well with the trapeze artists and everything
Yes,
else.
yeah.
Flows such power. Why can't we apply that power directly? But if it's our mind that can invent gods, and if from them flows such power, why can't
I feel like I might be a bit zoned out by the time it finishes.
Yeah, I
we've
know what you
I
mean.
think we've been watching for about an hour. I think like 53 minutes it says, but like
Yeah,
there's still another hour and a quarter.
yeah. I know what you mean. But, well, I mean... It's,
But nothing's really happened.
But that's what I mean.
It's throwing... Yes.
It's almost descending into being weird just for the sake of weird. A bit with Julia where she's like tugging, like miming,
Yeah, they're
tugging
pretending-
him. And
Oh yeah,
like-
but I took that as they were just having fun. Like
Yeah,
it's
but
them bonding as a thing. I thought it was done really well as well.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's
Yeah, yeah.
falling. You could go into mime after this if you wanted, Adam.
The moon.
When you are the moon. Oh no, it's got the cloud man.
Oh no, they got me. The first time we watched it, I was so perplexed by everything that was going on. I
Yeah.
couldn't really get into what was happening.
Yeah.
As such,
Yeah.
You're just
Like-
trying to take it
just
in.
try, yeah,
almost.
just
yeah,
still-
true.
you know, you're too busy trying to process what's just happened to fully take in what's coming next.
Yeah,
You sort of
yeah.
almost miss
Absolutely.
bits
Yeah.
in between.
This felt like the good old days of Hollywood when they gave the directors and writers a bunch of cocaine
yeah,
and
when it
went,
makes them
go
feel-
and film that.
Except he did it himself.
Well,
and I can
yeah.
kind of see, in a way, why studios were like, oh, maybe not.
It is one of those, because it's like, oh, how does this wonderful city work?
Doesn't matter.
It
does.
It's just a great
It's a
city.
bit of Field of Dreams,
It's
isn't
just
it?
amazing.
Build it and they will come.
Yeah. Everyone's going to applaud and clap at the end. Well, what? Do they all have houses there? Yeah, he said they did, so yeah, he's got it. How does that work?
It tries to be really pathetic. I can never say that word. But I don't think it does it that well.
No, it's not as deep as
It's
it
not as
feels like
deep,
it's
yeah.
trying to be
Yeah,
at times.
Definitely.
And I feel like it sort of sums up things very quick. Like he gets shot later on
In the face.
in the face
Yeah,
by a
shot in the
child,
eye.
which is I think is really cool.
Oh,
like not that I'm good. Yeah, kids shooting things, but like
Really brilliantly done.
yeah. It's I really liked it, and then the kids, but then
Weird line from Julia's character though.
Caesar will never say no to a child.
It's like, all right, like,
then that's our minds, then maybe. But yeah,
or a bit Roman.
I never feel like there's an investigation into this. I never feel like anyone's trying to figure it
No,
out.
because it's like,
what
oh well, he did.
happened.
It just feels like, oh well, he didn't die.
You know, when I heard you were shot, I was pissed. That I didn't get to do it myself. It's a joke, but you never had a sense of humor.
You do see his recovery and how he reacts to it, because I don't know if I missed this, but it seemed like they rebuild his face a little bit with his brand new material, Megalon.
They use Megalon,
which is a compound that Adam Driver's character has created.
It's one of those things where it's not needed, because what he wanted to show you was his stuff can save lives. This new future tech can save lives, and
now it's a part of him.
Will activate some of the signals that will express genes.
Subatomic particles, atoms, molecules, human connection.
This is brain.
Yeah, it's just thinking exactly.
The
science. Pump some science into him.
The cousin and the cousin's mate, they're trying to do the on-foot operation, aren't they, of trying to round people up.
Well, no, it seems like because
they do, they succeed.
Yeah, they do for a bit. Until he randomly tells someone to shut up.
It's only me, no one else. You can't name anyone else. It's
Caesar Catalina!
Who said that?
Caesar Catalina! You shut the fuck up!
That bit played was weird. I didn't think it felt a bit underdeveloped because Shia LaBeouf's character Claudio is jealous of Caesar. It feels like he's doing a Trump thing.
Yeah, it does feel a bit. I'm pretty sure there's a red hat that gets thrown at him.
I think there is. I think there is something to do with red hats.
But he's trying to desperately impress Daddy so he can get that money, doesn't
he?
He
wants to be
Granddad. Sorry.
Dad.
So essentially, Shia LaBeouf's character Claudio goes to him in a sauna, very Roman, with a contract to sign that basically says it will make me interim CEO of the bank. Because I want to step up. I want to try and do it. He's even cut his mullet off.
Yeah, well, no, Wow Platinum's cut his mullet off.
Very true. Whilst he was busy.
Because she's manipulating him into doing this.
Yes. So he goes
ate her vagina.
But, yes.
Bad boy.
Sorry, I had to say that so we could put the clip in.
No, I get it.
It's what they want. It's what they want.
It's what the people want.
That's where the points are.
It'll probably be on the thumbnail and everything.
Call me Auntie Wow.
Yeah. Do you like my outfit?
Yes, it's beautiful, wow.
Yes, Auntie Wow.
There's a whole scene where Auntie Wow, and she insists on being called Auntie Wow because by marrying the grandfather. Actually,
no, it's just a colloquial.
Cool,
it's just
fair
a term.
enough. But basically,
Wow. You just like calling her
the whole
Auntie
bit.
Wow.
The whole bit. All right.
She didn't ask you to call her Auntie Wow.
Studied the
but I will.
extensively.
I heard the instruction, and I shall.
And that you two.
Oh, fuck.
On a term sheet together.
We're gonna work on it.
Yeah.
So all of the while, she's just telling him what the plan is. And she gives him the haircut they're doing it.
Yeah.
She cuts his mullet off.
It's a very well worked scene. It's like she's using sex, she's telling the plan, she's also getting him sorted, ready to go and do it.
This is hostile. This is treacherous and villainous. No! Don't move! Get away from me!
He has a heart attack because the form that Claudio hands him says that he'll not only will he be interim CEO, he'll be interim chairman.
Yeah.
And he says this is a hostile takeover and blah blah blah. And then he has a heart attack. After he's had the heart attack,
We can't pay our respects, Grandpa.
What do you think of this boner I got? Wow, you Wall Street slut. This is your closing bell.
Jesus. Auntie Wow.
oh right his ass.
Oh God.
I watched a Corridor Crew video about the CGI in Megalopolis.
Yeah.
Just as the thing is whipped off and you see the point of the arrow where you're expecting to see the boner, there's just this, they put this little lens flare on the end of the thing and it goes ching on the end of the arrow. I hadn't noticed it, but yeah, they pointed it out. It was great.
I'm going to leave the patents to Megalon, the bank, my entire fortune, to Caesar's Garden of Eden, to Megalopolis.
Basically gives the bank to Megalopolis. gives all the money to Megalopolis to fund that. Yeah. So everything that Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf's characters do actually just drives the outcome that Caesar wanted in the first place. There's so much in this movie that is just bonkers. So Megalon is this wonder material that he's discovered. You find out at a point later in the movie, after he's been shot in the face and he's had his face fixed with Megalon, but he's still recovering. He says that he discovered it whilst trying to find a cure for his wife. Who is kept in kind of some sort of magical... Like, Megalon seems to have these weird magical properties.
I wasn't really sure if that was supposed to be him just, like, having a vision or...
that's what I
no, because Julia sees it.
No, but she sees him, but doesn't... Yeah, but not the wife.
But she sees the flowers that he picks up beforehand that also appear in the gold light as if they should not be there. It's like it's from another time.
Yeah, but
like he's opening splits in the... That's what I assumed it was.
It doesn't get explained. I didn't take that from it either time I watched it. It just seems to be this wonder material that can do anything.
Yeah.
Because he makes a dress for Vesta.
Yes, yeah.
The pop star Vesta.
As he's showing it off to the press pack that's around her, he explains that he's got lots of little cameras in it. But there's no explanation as to how the cameras are there. Are they just part of the Megalon? Are they actually... Like,
is
just
it this wonder thing, or is it a science?
There's a bit as well in the film where they put a cast on a dog's broken leg.
Yes.
And they say, the Megalon will fuse with the dog, and then he'll be healed in 2 to 3 weeks. And I thought, hang on, if you just put a normal cast on,
you're not far off that anyway.
Yeah, 4 to 5. Like, you'd be all right. But also, when they fix his face, they don't just use Megalon. They use strands of his dead wife's hair.
Yeah, why did they do that?
Because I don't know. It's just
she
a
now
choice.
Part of him.
Yes, but why? I don't know.
Because I think it's all of these deep layered meanings that he's sort of put throughout the film.
But he seems to have cut out the context for those meanings. Yeah. That's one of the problems with the film.
I think there are a lot. I read a review that kind of said that this was just full of sort of classical Easter eggs and whatnot, and philosophical Easter eggs. I think he was just sprinkling all of these little, this is a message, this is a message, this is a message.
Can you imagine, right, if Dave was just in the middle of this? He's just standing there like, what the fuck's going on?
In some ways, it just feels like he's just thought, I'm just going to do what I want.
Yeah, he
because
does.
you get the whole...
Because no one's funding me to do anything
Because
else.
he's spending his own money. He sold a vineyard to fund this film.
Yeah, that's the thing. This film cost $140 million to make, of which he funded $120 million up front, and then a further 17 or something million for marketing, because no one would do any marketing for it. And then there was all sorts of controversy about the marketing and stuff, because it used fake, what they call pull quotes. So a pull quote is just a small quote from snippet from a review. Yeah, so like when you see, an absolute triumph, poster, 5 stars or whatever, that's a pull quote. The video that was put out was it was like only a minute long, but it started with a bunch of quotes about negative reviews for The Godfather, Apocalypse Now.
Oh, right. Almost like preempting. Don't judge this film based on what you can see.
Essentially, I think yes. But it turns out that those pull quotes hadn't been vetted properly, and some poor marketing guy got sacked because he'd gone onto ChatGPT and said, give me negative...
quotes.
I don't mind the lightning, but the thunder scares the shit out of me.
So on a $140 million pretty much self-funded budget, it made $14 million at the box office.
Which is a lot of money, but not when you spend $140 million.
No, but the main reason for that is he couldn't get distribution.
But then this film...
So it only got shown in like select... it got a limited IMAX release, which I imagine watching this in IMAX would have been kind of quite an experience. And then just sort of small independent stuff here and there.
140 million is a hell of a lot of money to spend on something that's not very commercially sort of mainstream.
Yeah.
It's so much money. This is quite artistic at points.
At points. I would say most shots have near enough an artistic element, like genuinely.
Yeah, and then there are some really amazing shots and things,
and some
really
weird
nice compositions,
and just interesting things.
But it's not got what you'd want in a modern movie for a modern audience.
It's not got mass appeal.
It's quite, it doesn't have mass appeal.
You know, he's obviously had such faith in it. And I know he wanted to do it as best as he could to his best abilities.
Yeah.
But you have to at some point just think, well, unless he was willing to go, I don't care if I don't make any of it back. If he's got that attitude because he's an older gentleman, he's like, I got what I need. I'm
his
fine.
80s, I think.
Well, he is in his 80s, but do you know what else? He bankrupted himself very early on.
Oh, what?
Not with this. Very early on in his career. So he obviously made the Godfather movies. And then he bankrupted himself making Apocalypse Now, because that was also self-funded, because no one would fund it. And then spent a large part of the remaining kind of 80s and 90s just making movies in order to pay back debt. And therefore, the quality of his output.
But then his career sort of suffered because of that. Because
for sure.
Studios were like, well, we don't really, because you made a load of films that weren't that great.
Yeah,
and then
so
it
kind of
became,
and I think that's why,
because
this film, he started talking about this film in the 70s, late 70s. Sort of, I think I read a quote from one of the actors in Apocalypse Now who said he was talking about this then.
They say the only thing bigger than Hamilton Crass's bank account is his prick.
83, he wrote the first draft.
Yeah, you
and
can
then
tell it was 80s.
Yeah. And then in 1989, he got refused finance in 1989 just because it was like, no, this is too expensive. It's
too huge.
And then again, he was trying for finance in 2001, and the 9/11 attacks happened, and that kind of scuppered a lot of things that were going on. So then he invested 120 million of his own money. So I'm not sure that he really cares if it's
maybe not
commercially or critically successful, because it does feel like he's just made the movie that he wanted to make.
It's got shitloads of like proper actors.
That's the thing.
Well.
There's hardly anyone in this who you've not heard of.
Yeah,
I would also say their performances are very good.
Yeah,
Aubrey
Plaza's excellent.
Yeah,
absolutely excellent.
I'm Black Robin, and that is the score. Come for me on the trading room floor every weekday at 9 a.m.
Shia Labeouf is excellent.
What they're doing is madness in places, and it's all over. But you're kind of like, yeah, but they're in it.
Yeah.
Like they are absolutely playing their part, and they are decent, and they all have a John Voight I thought was great.
Exists who does not hold you in detestation.
I hold you in this detestation, whatever the hell that means.
There wasn't a person in it that wasn't.
No, excellent.
Yeah, there's no one in it. You go, oh god, you stand out.
Yeah.
Revenge tastes best while wearing a dress.
They're all having fun, aren't they?
Dustin Hoffman, I guess. I mean, he didn't do much.
Well, no, but that's because
you'd almost blink and you'd miss him.
He plays a chap called Nush Berman, who's known as the Fixer, and he holds a lot of power. But then he talks to the mayor, and the mayor says, "Get rid of Shia LaBeouf's character, Claudio."
Yeah,
which you take to mean, okay, there's going to be some sort of assassination attempt or some sort of something happen. You don't hear anything more of it. And then there's just a very brief moment where they're out at one of the protests, Claudio and his mate with the bullseye tattoo, and he says, "Oh yeah, he met a sticky end, essentially." And then they cut to a 1 second thing of Dustin Hoffman with some fucking rubble falling on him, and then that's it. It's done.
The fool Nush tried to muscle you out of politics.
He dropped dead and I won.
Oh, I guess he's dead then.
The first sort of big scene that's got
the court scene,
the kind of court scene, where he's just demolished the building and then they're on the scaffolding. In that's 10 minutes in, and you get the full to be or not to be speech.
Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep.
Perchance to dream.
Chance to dream.
This is the best written bit of all of it so far. In some ways, this is why I think this is just
better than Champagne and Bullets, though, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh, it's delivered by Adam Driver. Yeah, a little bit.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
It does kind of fit in a way, that whole scene, because it is like the Roman court You know, and that was what happened. It was like, I can't even think if the court is the right
It's
word.
weird, though,
but
that
it's
you
a
would
public
take
forum.
Yeah, but why
and
would you
people are
take
there
to
and
be or
you
not to be
argue.
or not to be from Hamlet, isn't it?
Yes,
I know,
which
but
is, I guess, is a tragedy. So it's.
but it kind of played because it is like
You'd
a
have thought
stage.
yeah, but you'd have thought he'd taken it from Caesar.
It's sort of like in the round almost.
Friends, Romans, countrymen.
I know, but it's so weird. You got
Bit
things
too
like
on the
that.
nose.
Though.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
but
maybe.
but
But
then
then
you've got
he is.
her who's Julia and he's Caesar.
I've never loved anybody like you.
I love you.
Bit of a turnaround, isn't it, when she f***ing her brother or something at the start?
What, people can't evolve, Dave?
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I would say nobody particularly, apart from WoW Platinum, has any sort of arc. Like, everybody's journey seems fairly linear throughout. No one sort of goes through some great change or
No, I
journey.
guess-
Whereas Aubrey Plaza's character does kind of,
she's-
because
well,
she's sort of
she's
coming
the
up
only
and then
one-
she comes back down again.
I don't know if I'd say arc. She's the only one who feels like they've got some kind of purpose.
Because it's not like Caesar, you see him pick up this desire to do it. He just already has it. He's already
And he
decided.
even had it. They infer that he always had this drive. Even it didn't come from the death of his
And
wife.
then-
It didn't come. He had it then, and that was a problem
so
in their marriage.
You don't
And
see him
even-
change and evolve and then go on a journey. He's just already on it.
Time stop!
Oh.
He gets the designs from the future. He says, "Time, show me the future."
Oh yeah,
which is like it's bonkers. The thing that I wrote down was he was not specific enough because that happens before he gets shot in the face by a child. And I just thought, if he can show you stuff, like that's the sort of thing you might look for.
I mean, the whole time thing never really properly gets explained. We don't know why they can do it.
It doesn't get explained, and it also doesn't seem to add much value
or do anything
No.
to the story
And-
aside from the
aside
very
from-
last scene.
Yeah, I was
Well,
going to
no,
say, when that baby gets you at the end.
Oh, that's a little hint for the sequel.
Yeah, the baby stop time.
Yeah, look who's stopping time now.
Yeah. The one thing that the stopping time does do is it forms the first connection between Caesar and Julia because he stops time as the building is blowing up and she sees it.
Yes, but I don't understand how she knows that's him.
Oh. That looks a bit green screen.
Go.
He's not like going, oh God, I'm
Yeah,
walking
like,
around.
yeah, stop
it's
time.
me.
I think maybe alligators have the right idea.
Adrian.
Yeah, she loves hearing that, Dave.
I wanted to mention Talia Shire, who plays Caesar's mum in this.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you picked up on it the first time we watched it, but she is both mad and vile.
They rushed me to the hospital because I had a terrible stomach ache. Instead, what I had was you.
I thought you were a bad case of the shits. One of the first things she says to him, alligators have it right. They're young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she explains to Julia about having a baby and it being Caesar,
I wish I could have had a girl. We could have gone shopping. We could have had lunch.
Mom Julia's a girl.
Instead,
I don't think you're supposed to like most of the family. Apart from Caesar, Julia, that's about it, really. The rest are supposed to be sort of this embodiment of just vile corruption and nepotism. And
John Voight comes out all right.
Oh, as an actor, yes. I'm talking
No,
about
his
the
character.
characters.
His character does.
No, because he's the head of this family.
yes,
that
but then he
is so-
comes
he's so
he comes
driven by
out,
greed.
but he comes out
gives
all
all
right
his-
because he's
yeah.
remembered as Crassus the Generous
Oh, yeah,
because he
I
gives all
suppose
the
so,
money
yeah.
from the back.
He comes
So
out
does-
all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, a vision of virginal.
She took the pure love pledge.
Can we now talk about a 16-year-old virgin, please?
We
He's
can't,
been
no,
desperate.
because it turns out she's 23.
And not a virgin.
How old was she meant to be then?
I was about to say, she didn't look underage particularly, did she?
Oh! That's how they get ya.
The pred catchers.
So Vesta, she's like basically she's presented like a pop star.
Yeah.
So she's
I assumed it was very like Britney
early
Spears.
Britney. Yeah. So presented like a pop star. Vesta she's 16. She's taken a pledge to stay a virgin until she's married.
And I think Vesta is a Roman god. I think. Who
Yes,
was
something
to do with virginity.
So she's made that pledge, and then at the wedding party for Crassus and Wow Platinum, she sings her pledge song, and
which
what
is an
the
original.
people in the audience,
she wrote it.
It's quite a good tune as well.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I don't understand how she splits herself into 4.
Visual effects.
I get it. Like, I don't know why.
She acts like they are there.
It's not just...
And then when it pulls out, you never really see that they are there, but then there are lots of other hers which are absolutely other people.
Yeah,
just look a bit like
her. But it's actually her.
It's
and it's like
it's all for the visual, isn't it? That is all just for the visual of what it looks like.
But I don't know what I am looking at. Am I looking at it from the audience point of view, or is this a music video now?
You've now got 4 virgins.
She's singing her pledge song, and people in the wedding party, so like the Colosseum audience, are essentially encouraged to pledge donations to support or make donations to support her pledge. Claudio essentially wants to spoil it and wants to get Caesar into trouble. So he gives a doctored USB video of her having sex with someone, and it's doctored. His face, Caesar's face, is doctored onto it. He's arrested, and that's when he finds out when he's in jail that he can't stop time anymore. That then leads to Julia trying to do the right thing by going to find Vesta's birth certificate.
Yes.
To prove that she was 23. And then but then it just turns out okay.
Yeah, it does not.
It's just like, so it turns out okay, and then even Vesta comes out of it fine.
Yeah,
because she gets
plays
a
the
tiny
devil
little
stuff,
bit, where
she?
she's again a music video type snippet, only about 20 seconds long.
That's what happened with Britney.
Yeah.
And the actress who plays her is a singer-songwriter and wrote 2 songs for this. And she was an American Idol finalist or winner, something along those lines.
So don't say anything shitty.
Probably 2.5. Because I don't... it's way too long, and my mind wanders if its attention is not held, and I did a lot in this film. If you're into sort of art housey type stuff that's just full of messages, give it a go. You might get something out of this. Some of the criticism is probably a little bit harsh, but it is a hugely expensive film that's made next to nothing. It's a 2.5.
Was that you singing along as well?
It was.
Oh, right.
Couldn't tell, could you? Because it was like an angel behind you.
It was like fucking surround sound. It's wonderful.
Like an angel.
2.5 sounds fair. It's not great, I don't think, but it is interesting, and there is some uniqueness to it, which I know it shouldn't just get points for being unique and whatever, but there's some fun scenes in this that I quite enjoyed. It is a shame that the characters don't have
much of a
some
journey.
real arcs or proper, like that is, I think, a huge letdown on it, which nearly
I think
pushed
that's
it.
because it's a fable. Fables kind of are, I guess, a bit more linear.
There were bits where we just laugh out loud, and I think I always will on certain bits as well. There are some fun, and there are moments where you're like, is this Neil Breen?
We need you to stop. Man.
If he starts mentioning corporations.
This is a 3.5 movie for me. I take on board everything you're saying about the linearness of it and the lack of the story. I think that is made up for by all of the rest of what's going on, like the bonkers visuals and the wild scenes. I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed watching it with you guys, and then I take films on a different level to you guys, though, sometimes. I'm not always looking for that much depth. I'm looking for entertainment. And this movie, with all of its crazy shit going on, I found thoroughly entertaining both times we watched it. It doesn't deserve the critical panning it's got.
No.
I think it deserves criticism.
Yeah.
There are gaps,
Yeah.
as we've mentioned. There are bits that don't work. And like fair play to Francis Ford Coppola for putting that much money,
his own money,
of his
into
own
it.
money into something like this, which he probably knew he would not get the return on.
So Megalopolis gets 8.5 out of 15.
Quite reasonable score.
Congratulations.
That's probably one of the highest scores we've given for just a kind of a regular popcorn
And probably
movie, isn't it?
for me, probably the biggest change between first viewing and second viewing.
Thank you very much to our Patreons for supporting us and this. What a proud bunch of people you should be.
Genuinely do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Don't know what we're. I mean,
I don't know.
proud of it. Is one of you a doctor? Maybe well done.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it's probably more likely your parents
And nor
should
did
be
we
proud
have,
of you than we.
nor did we have anything
Are
to
you
do
just a
with
good
it.
person?
Yeah, well done you.
And if you've got this far and you are a good person, you need to be liking and subscribing.
Absolutely.
Because that helps us grow. And that is what we want to do. And we want to take over YouTube and we want to be YouTube.
And then at some point...
That's what we want, right?
Yeah? We just want to be YouTube.
You were going to be it. I thought that's
I
what we
would-
were doing. I thought you grow and you be YouTube.
No, you grow and you be Mr. Beast and stuff like that, don't you? You just you grow and then you go on Amazon.
Get that Amazon money.
I'm not good in forests.
That's all right. Well, you can be the man back in the studio.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Well, yeah, Chris will
we'll
go
be
do
there.
We'll go do all the fun stuff. You can be the guy who
I'll go
narrates.
pee.
Bye.